Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Off the Couch. This is our first film analysis and it's a film that maybe not many of you have heard of. It's If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is a bit more than lesser known though. I mean, she was up for the Oscar for it with Jessie Buckley.
She was. Don't get me wrong, fabulous film. It's just that when I've spoken to a lot of people, not many people have heard of it.
Yeah, I'll give you that. It was quite buried on my streaming service, but definitely a good one to get into because there's lots of films and
Absolutely.
things that we can delve into. So, yeah, let's get into it.
Do you want to start from the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of themes, aren't there?
Loads.
I mean, there's motherhood, therapy. I mean, let's face it, that's why we're doing this channel. So that's going to be predominantly the big thing we're going to roll into. I think there's grief, there's loss involved in there as well. There's comedy, but I mean, what is something that really rings out to you?
I think it was a good reflection of motherhood. Just in the beginning, straight away, I could really resonate with that. Like coming in, she was taking her shoes off, getting herself comfortable. She took her tights off. She's, after a long day. But still, it was a good reminder that even after that long day, if you've had a long day at work, you've still got that as a parent. Mum. And I actually think the child in that film was quite relentless with, talking to her. She stayed pretty calm, didn't she? I thought she was quite good at times, quite calm, especially in the beginning.
Oh my god, I'm scared! Please! What is that? I don't want it. I don't want him anymore. He's dead!
Yeah. I mean, it was quite, as you say, relentless at a point,
Yeah.
and it was. I mean, I had the sound quite loud at one point. I think I had to lower the decibelage a couple of notches down because it was quite intense. But I think that's what the production was aiming at, right? With that?
Yeah. I think they were trying to give you like a really realistic picture of what it looks like to be a parent, and particularly a parent with an unwell child. And that's obviously going to come with challenges. She's on her own. I mean, you work that out quite early on that she's on her own. Her husband's not there, dad's not there. It's just her and the child, and she's managing by taking her daughter to the appointments and going to work, and obviously then things start going wrong at home. So it's a lot for one person to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, the dad was, let's face it, proper naff, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was Christian Slater, I think it was. He obviously came into it later in the end. I mean, obviously, guys, there's going to be spoilers in this video as well. So
There
if you
are,
haven't seen it yet,
absolutely. So be careful.
Maybe we should have put that at the start, but it's definitely something we're going to talk about. But yeah, he was very, very absent, wasn't he? And
his comments on the telephone calls, I actually found that quite enraging at times.
Enraging.
Absolutely. The things she's calling because she needs a bit of help, she needs some space. And he would always, I don't know, I kind of felt like he was making out his job was harder.
Yeah, I did get that aspect from it, for sure. I mean, there did seem like a real lack of care there, didn't there? And I guess that distant kind of technique they used as well, just talking to him getting to know him on the phone or in the car. And I think that's very, very useful. But then, what did you think about the technique to never really see the child? What did you think about that?
Yeah, I don't know. It was different. Usually you do. And it's not like you do see the child, but you don't see her face. It'll be her feet, her hands. At one point, near the end, it's her stomach. Like you don't see her. I don't know what the message behind that was. If it was about maintaining privacy, I don't know where they were going with that. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've read online some people found it distracting, a bit off-putting at times, but I actually thought it was quite a clever technique because I think it fed into that isolation that she was feeling as well, and it quite suffocating at times, stifling.
Yeah, but I can also see why people would find that distracting because it's unusual and you do notice it. Like, it's like, why have we not seen her face? So it does, I think it does play on your mind, and maybe that's what they're going for. They want you kind of thinking those kind of things, like they want to keep you engaged, and it does a great job of that.
Yeah. I mean, what were your thoughts on the way she went to medical appointments and how she was treated with that? Do you think that was an accurate portrayal?
I would like to think not, but I'm thinking that it probably is accurate. Obviously, I don't have an unwell child like that to really be able to resonate or see what the real picture is. And I can understand it from the medical professional's view. The patient is the child, so the child's going to be there number one. But I did feel that there wasn't as much care put into speaking and discussing things with the mum, and that she was spoken down to, and not, I don't think it was handled in the best way. The way they spoke to her didn't mean that she was going to engage with them anymore. If anything, it made her engage with them less. I mean, I don't know, what was your take on that?
Yeah, I do get that. I do agree to a lot of extent, but I suppose they tried to blend the comedy angle into it as well. So I suppose it's just, if you're a parent from that, would you prefer to just have that serious avenue to it, or do you generally find the comedic avenue to it quite enlightening as well? I mean, I've done plenty of work with carers in my profession so far, and I get it's a very, very isolating role at times, and exhausting, and it can be, from what I've heard, mind crushingly annoying not getting the answers that you're looking for, and then the blame on top of you as well. Like I think Rose Byrne's character felt in the film was impeccably acted and conveyed. That's what I picked up from those scenes. And yeah, she just had so much going on, didn't she? She was firmly burying her head in the sand when it came to, like, you know, taking those meetings and exploring the next steps. It was like, I think she knew that her daughter wasn't going to meet the required target, but she didn't want to fully believe that. So she was just trying to carry on living her life, believing that she was going to meet these targets, everything's going to be fine, and she doesn't want to engage with anything that says otherwise. Yeah, and I suppose that's where I got a bit lost about what condition she actually had, like what numbers did she need to meet, and I suppose that did take me away a bit at times. But
yeah, I can see that, because you are left wondering and kind of distracted. You know, why does she have this feeding tube? Why does she have to gain weight? What was going wrong? Why was she not gaining weight? Was there a physical problem? What went on? And they don't give you any kind of indication what type of illness she had at all. So there are different bits of the film where they do keep things quite private.
Yeah. I mean, the film basically starts off with the hole, doesn't it? With the old gaping chasm in the house. I mean that was quite shocking, wasn't it?
Mommy! Hey, we just got home, and you would not believe.
Well, yeah, I mean, and to begin with, you know, it starts off with it's just a hole, doesn't it? But then it's almost like that develops, and the hole becomes more, and she becomes obsessed a little bit with the hole.
Yeah, I mean, with your therapist hat, like, what were you thinking? Were you thinking it was like just a hole, a metaphor for something in her life, in a marriage, as a kid, or was it just a fuck off hole?
I mean, considering like the film is like, I see it as a piece of art, I'm going to say there's a message there. And, you know, I think, and you know this, and when working with people, that some people experiencing depression do kind of, or experiencing loss, do describe that as a gaping hole. A hole, an empty hole, numbness. And I do wonder if that's, you know, kind of a part of herself she hasn't acknowledged. And then there is this great big hole in her life, physically as well as emotionally. And then I think that becomes a bit of an obsession with the hole. What's in the hole? Why is the hole there? But where she's not fully acknowledging that she is emotionally struggling, I think it's easier to blame things on the physical hole. Well, it's the hole's fault, when really it's an emotional hole within herself, if that makes sense.
You said hole a lot there.
I did,
a lot of holage.
There was a lot. But what else do you want to call it? I mean, like you said, chasm, was that a good one? Gaping chasm.
Gaping chasm, oof.
That one does sound a bit dodgy.
Yeah. Let's move on. But yeah, I think it was, very good metaphor. And it's something I hear a lot from clients. They sometimes pinpoint to their stomach or their gut that there's something missing inside them, and plenty have described it as a hole, something missing, a void. And I thought it was a really good way actually of showing in general of what she was missing, part of herself. I mean, that's something we can discuss much further down the line when it comes to the theory behind how we see ourselves and things. But I think she was just genuinely unhappy, wasn't she? Unhappy in her marriage, as a mother, and in her job, which I guess is something we can really, not relate to, because I think we're both very happy what we do, aren't we? But
we are, yeah.
But I think we can relate to the fact that when life is up against you, and being a therapist, it's particularly grueling at times, isn't it? What do you reckon?
I think you're right. I think it's hard. It's a difficult job to do, and it's not a job you can easily do if you're not feeling 100%. But I mean, I say that, but I know that we're not really very often 100% anyway. But you've got to be firing on all cylinders really to take it on. If you're starting to feel ill, something's really bothering you, then it can really get in the way of your work. And you would agree with me, I know you would, that part of our training really does focus on our ability to be able to put our own issues to one side, to be able to focus on our clients. But there are some issues that we have that are just too big, that it makes it almost impossible to then continue with our client work.
Oh, definitely. It's something we had in our training, isn't it? Like limits of proficiency, of knowing how much you can give, and ultimately it's a lack of responsibility, isn't it? If we're turning up and we know we're not at our finest, or not even our finest, but to a point where we're neglecting our clients. And I know it was obviously an American film with American therapy, and I suppose some of the things we probably wouldn't do over here, maybe, or vice versa. But she at times did step over the line, I think, with some of her clients. I mean, one comes to mind in particular, but I don't know about you. What do you think on that?
Yeah, I mean, yes. I mean, there was definitely times when she wasn't present. She's sitting in the room, the person's talking to her, she is not listening or paying attention. And like you say, we adhere to an ethical framework. If we know that we're not going to be able to be there, be present for our clients, then, we have that responsibility to make sure that we're not, if we can't give them the care that they need, then we cancel the session. And I think she buried her head so deeply, that this wasn't happening, that she didn't take a step back when she needed to. And there were several clients, the one, there was a younger woman that was talking about work, she wasn't really there. The guy that was dreaming about her, again, she wasn't really present then, and then she wasn't present enough with the new mum either. So you saw her with different clients and she wasn't really present. And don't get me wrong, she's trying, and I can totally relate that she's going through something horrible. But like you say, we have that responsibility to take a step back when we know we can't give them what they need. Yes, and I think at times she definitely exceeded those boundaries, didn't she? But to be fair to her, I mean, in one particular scene when the young baby was dumped on, that was, I did really feel sorry for her. I mean, it's never happened to me, but I'm sure somewhere in the UK it might have happened, because it doesn't seem too far off from being realistic. No, it doesn't. I mean, and then I was sitting there thinking, oh my God, like, what would you do in that instance? Someone has literally left their baby with you and disappeared.
Yes, this is your wife's therapist. She left in the middle of her appointment today, and You
gotta stop. I have no idea what you're even talking about. Who is this?
And I mean, I did feel a bit agitated, annoyed, frustrated, angry with with her supervisor. Well, not a supervisor, is he? I mean, her counsellor, but He just literally said, go to your supervisor. And the scene where they're literally kind of kicking each other's feet on the door, like, really took me by surprise.
That was, pretty funny when I saw it. But, I mean, yeah, Conan O'Brien, wasn't it? The supervisor slash...
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if he was a supervisor. I think
no, he wasn't
more...
her supervisor. I got my words wrong. He's her therapist, but he just said, go to your supervisor. But in that moment, she needed help there and then. And I can't imagine that as a therapist, that if you needed help or another therapist needed help, that I would turn my back. That is an emergency situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think Conan's character particularly seemed checked out with the therapy role. I mean, he came across as very uncaring and zapped, being honest, even more so than Rose Byrne's character. But again, it happens. I'm sure we've seen it in our own practices.
She was a difficult client, though. She was a difficult person to work with. So
you mean the mum?
At times, she was even aggressive. Like, I mean,
she was.
How do you work with someone like that? So I cannot kind of understand why he would have checked out. But then again, he's got that responsibility, I think, to have told her earlier that, this isn't working, we can't work together.
Again, boundaries, right? I think that is kind of the overriding therapeutic message anyway, is lack of boundaries, isn't it? And I think as a therapist, it's something we need to stick to, and it can be very, very challenging. I think it's probably one of the most hardest parts of the training process. I think is nailing those boundaries, and then, to be honest, maintaining them, because I think, hand on heart, I think we've definitely exceeded them sometimes, isn't it? Whether it's staying behind for longer or checking in with someone more than we should. It's tough, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, I can only speak for myself, care about every single person we work with. And
we're human. We're human. And this is why we have supervision, right? We take these kind of issues with boundaries and, how we feel about clients and how we feel the work's going. We take all of that to supervision. So we have that time and that space to reflect on what's going on for us and to, work out how to do things better. But we didn't see her in supervision.
We didn't. And I guess that was Conan's kind of role, which got blurred. And I suppose that's what he was cheesed off about. Let's be fair. And
but it's a bit awkward though, isn't it? You're working in the same building, literally doors down from your own therapist. That is, when we talk about boundaries, like the line there is very, very blurred.
You wouldn't want to work doors down from me, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but you're not my therapist.
I could be.
I would work. That would never work, and you know that.
Well, that reminds me of another show.
I wouldn't want to work doors down from my own therapist. That's weird.
I see what you're getting at. But anyway, guys, I mean, what did you think if you've seen it? Do you agree with us? Do you think it was good the way they used certain techniques? Not seeing the daughter, not seeing the husband, the whole. What do you think of the therapy involved? What do you think of motherhood? What do you think of mental health? We're really interested to hear what you think. Maybe put your thoughts in the comments, because we'd really be interested in knowing. What do you think
other
of
people's take? Other therapists' take. What did they
other
think?
Take?
What was highlighted for them? Best bits. I like it, but. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please like, share, and subscribe, and look out for our next drop. Thanks. Bye.